Love is just taking care of people and helping overall the community to just grow.
You're a B-girl.
Yeah.
Then you come from Vancouver.
Yeah.
You went to New York for Supreme Beings.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Supreme Beings? How did that all go down?
So a few of the members of Supreme, the Florida chapter, I'm really close with a lot of them, and they're mainly like the young generation.
Got you.
And so we've been battling together. We just kick it. We hang out when I'm in Florida too. So we already had a relationship. And it's also, especially the other B girl too. Her name is Queen Envy, aka Susie.
Okay.
She's one of my good friends from a long time, same generation B girl. So already having a connection with some of the members, and then coming to the Supreme Beings anniversary that went down recently, that's where I got to meet the rest of the crew actually, and that's how my relationship just started to build with the rest of the crew.
Nice. Well, you know what? I want to know more about just you in general. So
Cool.
tell me more about yourself.
All right, where do I start? So yes, I grew up in Vancouver.
Okay.
I actually was born here in Los Angeles.
Got you.
And so that's why I'm here now, and that's why I can work here. Have dual citizen.
Okay, what's your other citizen?
Canadian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, you can do that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know so much now these days, but
Yeah.
definitely back then,
You got hooked up.
that was my deal.
Nice.
So yeah, I started breaking in Vancouver. My
Okay.
oldest sister used to be a B girl, and so she taught me my basics, and I just got connected with the community in Vancouver, and it was just a wrap. I've been breaking for 17 years now, and been traveling. I moved to Arizona, October 2017. And after living in Arizona for a few months, I started to just travel I was just telling Phantom this, I've been traveling for about, I guess, 13 months, almost 14 months straight now.
Hell yeah.
And being here, I got hired for a job, so I'm here for rehearsals, and we're gonna do more traveling for another 2 months, and gonna make an official move here in LA as of end of January, February. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what is it about traveling that you like so much? Were you traveling just for leisure? Was it for work, those 13 months?
So it was a bit of both. So
Okay.
the first bit was doing the Nutcracker for the first couple months. And then I
wow.
did my own tour, my own personal tour. It's called the Amplified Tour.
Ooh.
And the purpose of that tour was women empowerment.
Oh,
and
nice.
so my mission was to go to different cities, different states, and just encourage and empower our sisters in the scene, you know what I mean? And just to have fellowship. And at the same time too, I got a lot of work too, judging and teaching workshops. So I kind of just build this workshop tour together, and so I did that for an extra 8-9 months, and then I was traveling in Europe for a bit.
Dang.
And now I'm here.
That's really cool. So, because I know a lot of breakers and dancers out there, they love to travel.
Yes.
And they love that lifestyle. But a lot of new people, they don't know how to make that happen or even start out like that. So,
Yeah.
what was the process of you? You know, you're just starting out as a B girl. You're breaking, and then how did you start going out there and just selling yourself to the international world?
Word. That's a good question.
Yeah.
So actually, of course, I started traveling younger, and my initial thing was I want to make noise. I want
Yeah.
to represent Canada, and I want to be one of the best B-girls. Actually, no, at that time, I want to be the best B-girl in the world.
Boom.
So, being 19 and all, I'm like, heck yeah, I want to do this. And so my initial thing was to reach out any battle that I could. So I went to New York, was one of my first international battle that I did as a solo B-girl,
Yeah.
and I won that.
Nice.
And then I went to Orlando, won that B-girl battle there, and so slowly starting to make noise. And eventually, so that was just the first thing, which is I just wanted to represent. I just wanted to make noise. And then eventually, when you get older, for me, it was just like, okay, I feel like I have something to offer to B-girls. Because one of the things I noticed back at home was that there isn't that many B-girls. And what can I do to help this? And it was always in my heart to, have more B-girls in my community. And what can I do to help that? And so what I did was back in Vancouver, I would teach a few free workshops. And at the same time too, any opportunity I had to connect with another woman that would come to practice or any other dance practices that I would attend to, I always try to encourage them, hey, break is not just power moves. Can I show you something here or there? Or, if I saw a girl on the corner by herself, I always took the initiative to approach them and make them feel comfortable.
Nice.
And so that was always my mission, was just to build the B-girl scene, you know? And so, of course, as the years go by and when I do more traveling, connecting with many more B-girls all over, and every time we do exchanges, we both learn so much from each other. And it was always so powerful after, like, I leave a trip, after connecting with a fellow B-girl, and, you know, I'm so inspired. And so I was like, yo, like, I need to do more of this. Not only am I inspired, but also the other person is inspired. And also in that community, wherever I was, it was the same thing as when I was being back at home. Any other B-girl that I didn't know that was kind of working on by themselves, I took the initiative to say, hey, what's up? You know, can I help you? You know what I mean? That was just always me. And so when I finally moved to Arizona, I got a part-time job as a photographer at the Phoenix Zoo.
Whoa.
And to be, okay, so that's a whole nother story. I don't know if I should go into that.
We'll go into it later.
Yeah.
In a bit.
But long story short, I stopped working there. And when I was trying to find another job, I couldn't get another job. And I was kind of getting a little bit stressed out. But at the same time, too, I also had this part of me that said, everything is happening for a reason. And the desire in my heart just kept coming up. It's like, okay, you have this time right now. What can you do for the community? And so... And I'm like, at the same time, I need to make money. I'm like, okay, cool. I could do a weekly workshop here in Arizona. And as I was doing that, of course, like my sisters in this scene, you know, they were always so happy. They were always so encouraged and motivated. And I always get the response like, yo, Jay, you need to do more of this, more of that. And it just, this idea started to develop in my head. I'm like, I need to do a workshop tour. I need to do it for my sisters. And I'm like, this is just Arizona. How much more other women all over this country? And so I was like, okay, I was brainstorming. I was thinking about all the places that I know people in different states. And so that was the first thing I did. I started talking to people that I knew. I'm like, yo, I have this idea in my head. Tell me what you think. I don't have a lot of money, but I just have this heart to help my sisters in the scene. And so every single person that I've communicated this to, they were always like, we're so down. We support your vision. Heck, don't worry about paying anything. Just get your way here. We'll cover everything. We'll help you with your accommodation. We'll even set up some other workshops and some judging gigs just so you can like have money for your living here. You know what I mean? So it was just like, okay, shoot, let's make this happen. And so I it was just the whole thing of just planning it out, writing down where I wanted to go, planning out all over the states where I wanted to be at. And it just turned out to be an 8 to 9 month tour. And in the middle of my tour too, it was like more connections. So last minute, like I ended up going to Mexico for doing the same thing, or going to another state. I'm going to Indiana or wherever that wasn't in the original plan. But because I put myself out there, I made myself available in these certain cities that the nearby cities were like, yo, we need you here, and this is beautiful what you do. Let's make it happen. And so it just started from there.
Wow, that's such an inspiring story.
Thank you.
It really was from this, I would say, inner like intention of really helping, you know, fellow B girls and women in the industry, to empower them, to inspire them, so that they could pursue their dreams as a dancer, as a creative. And I love that. I want to acknowledge you for doing that.
Thank you so much.
I think a lot of creative people, especially in the dance world, they need that encouragement, because dance to me is a very difficult industry to be in, because there's a shelf life. You know, you only have your body to do certain things for so long. When it comes to, like, let's say filming or photography, I would say you have a longer shelf life because you're not really doing that much physical work in a way. And dance to me has always been this very grueling art form on people's bodies. And I kind of feel that a lot of dancers, they start feeling this certain way when they reach their 30s, that I'm not good enough anymore. I'm not valuable. I don't know what I could give to the world. And so it's so amazing that you're doing this, because I feel that a lot of people in their 30s, late 20s, that need that inspiration to just dance. It's not like, you don't have to win Red Bull. You don't have to win, you know, UDEF, whatever it is you want to do, just dance. I feel like that's so important, especially for women too, because I know that there are certain things in the breaking world that kind of prevents, you know, women from jumping in and really being themselves. So I want to ask you that, you know, what are the challenges that you felt when you, as a B girl, coming into the scene and getting into the scene? What were the challenges?
Starting off, for sure, it was intimidating. It was a little bit stressful just because every cipher that I would enter that was outside Canada, I mean, in Canada, Canada's home for me. So, you know, mainly every city that I went to in Canada, I felt really at peace. I felt comfortable. I knew the people and I could throw down. When I left Canada and to go to, for example, New York or to go to Florida or to go to LA, anywhere, I'm like, no one here knows me. I don't know anyone here. I'm like, frick. And so I step into a cipher, and of course, like sometimes the music too was a little bit difficult for me to really feel the groove. So of course, if I'm not feeling the music, I don't want to throw down at all on top of the nerves that I'm already feeling, you know what I mean? But then eventually, once I started to just like step back from the cipher after feeling so nervous, I kind of just warm up, maybe do my own little thing by myself. Then I step into the cipher, and then when the music's freaking Gucci, I'm like, all right, forget it. Just step in, just do you. And I would kind of do my thing and then step out. But I had this conversation recently with someone, I can't remember who it was. But one of the things was, what kind of sucks is that when you enter a cipher and just a lot of people are just in their own, like, yo, I just wanna make noise, I just wanna battle, I just wanna rap, la la la. And it's just like everyone's so lost in their own head, you know what I mean? And one of the things that kind of grind my gears back then and even till now is that no one is really communicating with each other anymore. You know, it's a jam, it's a community event, and I know it's a competition, but at the same time too, this is a place where we come together. This is how we build and fellowship. I feel like community jams is a time to fellowship with your fellow brothers and sisters in this culture. And so I'm not asking anyone to be like the whole time during the jam, yo, what's up, Jay? You know, that's good, you know? And no, I'm here to represent too, but at the same time too, acknowledge that I'm here, you know what I mean? Like if I walk in, and I'm not saying that I'm anyone special, you know what I mean? But you don't have to be so angry the whole time, you know? We can put a smile. And even like if I step into a cipher, just a simple like, you could just do a head nod and then just back into your cipher mode, you know what I mean? And this is a common thing that I've heard from a lot of women, is that they feel they are not acknowledged at all and that they're like a ghost. And it's like, who am I in this scene? It's just, am I irrelevant? Am I nothing? And, you know, for me, I've never been the one to give easy props to no one. For me, it's, you're in there, you represent, you do what you got to do to make noise and all that good stuff, whatever you're about, whatever your motives is in the scene. And I've always had this thing about, like, I'm going to feel bad for nobody, you know what I mean? Because I'm in this too, and I want to represent. But everyone is in a different place in their life. Everyone is in a different journey. So you don't realize what this person actually is going through. You know what I mean? You never know what everyone's mental state is. You really don't. And so for me, it's not about feeling bad for the person or trying to baby anyone. It's just being considerate of another person's presence. That's all that it is. And I feel like people are forgetting the whole, like I said, the community aspect, the fellowship aspect of these events, which is to bring life and joy into what we do. Of course, battling, it's an outlet, it's a way for us to express and of course release whatever it is that we have, you know, just freaking express and just go in. But at the same time too, we're not the only ones here in the scene, you know what I mean? You're in it, Phantom's in it, so-and-so. So I think it's very important that we are very considerate of other people's presence in each event, and just, I don't know, for me to really truly represent what love is. You know, love is not supposed to be something that's gushy and mushy. Love is just, it's respect. Love is encouraging someone, not necessarily easy props, but just saying, you know, keep it going. Love is just showing honor to those before you. Love is also showing honor to those who are new to it. Love is just taking care of people and helping overall the community to just grow. And so I feel like not everyone, but a lot of people have lost that. And of course, love is also expressing your joy for this. For me, breaking has been such an amazing part of my life. It has brought so much freedom and joy to me. And just because of everything that I've done with it, and at the same time too, I love to just nerd out. I love to just create. I love to be in my own bubble.
Yeah.
I love to also fellowship and create with another person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And exchanging movements, exchanging ideas. It's breaking our culture. Period. It's such a beautiful culture.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm kind of going on a tangent.
Oh no, and that's cool. I'm so happy you said that, because I feel that the community is being lost in the way that I would say the breaking community is going, because of the idea of how do you sustain yourself as a dancer. And this always goes back to the starving artist and the artist itself.
Yeah.
And as a dancer, how do you pursue a life of dancing and also pay your rent? And now, of course, when competition is placed, that's when the idea of, oh, I can make money from winning a jam, winning a competition.
Yeah.
So this is my way of making money and sustaining my lifestyle and paying for my creativity. And then what happens is now people are more focused on that competition and winning, because now it's crazy enough. It's the rat race for breaking. And it sucks to see that.
Yeah.
And I think that before you never really felt like this was going to be a full-time gig in a way. It was just
it's crazy
my
now.
passion. Like, this is my passion. I want to do this while I pursue something else in another career. Or if I'm going to do this full-time, I'm going to do this with my crew, because they're going to support me.
Yeah.
Now when it's like, okay, when you hear about all these competitions around the world, I can stack like 100K in a year.
Easy, yeah. Totally.
Right? If I win, then I could, just be all me, no crew, because I don't want to split it. People are like, I don't want to split the prize. Why split the prize when I want to like make my living off of this?
Yeah.
And so it's become this YOLO kind of thing. See, for real right now, everyone's just like, let's just do this on my own. I'm gonna make a living out of it. And we are losing that back. And with social media and with content, it's this consistent barrage of like, oh, I'm not good enough. How can I get better than this person? Rather than just like, oh, that's really amazing what that person did. How can I respect that? How can I like support that? Because I'm seeing a lot of people comparing themselves. That's what social media has done.
Yeah, totally.
Funny enough, it's like it's supposed to bring us all together, but it's really tore us apart.
Yeah.
But for you, I mean, talking about community and everything, I know you just got down with Supreme Beings. And so talk about why it's important to have that family and that crew, and how did you, get into the crew? What is that whole process?
Oh, wow. Supreme Beings, it's such an honor, and it's still such a trip right now. I've respected this crew for a hot minute, and my process, my journey with this crew is already a few of the members, for me, they're already family. And so for me, it's just representing with my homies in this crew already, and getting down, fellowshipping, just eating, just being nerds with each other, which is really cool. Seeing each other at different events. And then the idea came up. It's like, yo, like, do you actually want to be down with the crew? And I'm like, yo, for me, I would 100% be down, but at the same time too, I'm not trying to force it. You know what I mean? If it's gonna be natural, let's let it be natural.
Yeah.
I'm not about trying to rep a crew that I don't know. You know what I mean? And that I don't respect or that I don't support. It has to be, for me, it has to be real. The relationships has to be for real. And the idea was like, yeah, no, for sure. Like, the thing is, it's not 100% sure, because at the same time too, I still don't know the rest of the crew. The crew, there's like 20 plus members, you know what I mean? And so I was like, for me, it's totally cool, because I have my own crew back at home, Diamonds in the Rough. It's an all-female, all-style crew. And so I was telling, my homies in Supreme, before I was Supreme, I was like, for me, like, I understand what family is. My sisters are everything to me. We've been through so much. They've been there for me, and I, vice versa, being there for them as much as I can. And so, but to be in Supreme, hands down, I'm for it, but at the same time, I'm not trying to force it. And so it was just a matter of me just, keeping my relationship as I've been doing this whole time. And not until Supreme Anniversary went down, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to reach out Supreme. the anniversary, because this is going to be an opportunity for me to actually get to know a lot of the OGs of the crew that are not present in the scene anymore. But for sure they're going to be there. So I'm like, you know what, let's meet these guys and see what's up, right? So I went to the anniversary, and it was just so crazy because I guess, there's already been talk in their own group chat or whatever. And so I walk in, of course, I know the people who I know, I say, what's up? And a few that I don't know, it's like they all came to me in their own time, and it was just love right off the bat. And it was just like, I wasn't even crew yet, but it was just like, just that hug, just that honest hug of like, hey, it's so nice to really finally meet you. And I'm like, wow, like and it was just like from numerous members. And so just that went down, and just actually find like to build with them, they had like this park barbecue after the event, going to the practice that one of our crewmate, Mike, he has his own space, so we just practiced there. So, really getting to know them more, and just keeping my relationship. And I really appreciate that nothing was fast, because for me, I value relationship more than anything, And so fast forward now, how many months ago was this? So the anniversary was like maybe August, or even before that. It is October now. I just want to keep my relationship with them. And so, I wanted to hang out. I had some time before the rehearsals here that I have for Nutcracker. I go into New York. We go to this practice called McCarran Park. And, this is a practice where a lot of the members really don't go to anymore. So it was so funny because I showed up with one of my crewmates, Susie, who was in Supreme. And so we had like a ladies kind of like outing. So we all kind of just like showed up together. And I saw like a few of the members there. I'm like, interesting. I'm like, Jigs and Bonnie are here? Like, what are they doing here? And she's like, well, they live around here. And some of the other members started to trickle in. I'm like, this is interesting. These fools would not practice here, because we would go to Mike's space. And so I was like, hey, that's cool. I was talking to them, and I started just practicing. Next thing you know, Frankie came through. He's like, let's go, girl. Boom. All of them lined up, and they just we did rounds, and they battled me in, and it was official.
Wow. Yep. It's amazing.
Yep. And then, being here in LA now too, was it Monday or Sunday, I went to practice at Jam with Phantom. This fool, near the end of practice, we went round straight for, I believe, almost an hour.
There you go.
And we had maybe 3, 5-ish minutes break. And every time I thought that break was we're done. And he's like, no, we're going to keep going. And it was just like, damn. So, and because he's like, I was in there in New York to battle you. He's like, this is me battling you in now, So for me, that was real. That was I really appreciated it. I was dying, but I'm like, I appreciate it.
It's just, they're there to make you better.
Yep.
They're there to keep you up, support you, and make you better, because they know this is your passion.
Yep.
And they want to get you to that level that you always want to get to.
Yep.
It's importance of crew, and I see that. I've always wanted to know crew etiquette. What are your thoughts on crew etiquette? What are the things that you always have to be mindful of when, let's say you already have a crew and there's another crew that comes in and wants you to be down? Like, what is crew etiquette? Like, what are the things if you're a newbie in the scene, right?
So for me, because of course this is still all new too, right? Being in 2 crews at the same time, communication is key.
Okay.
So even before I got put down with Supreme, I've already expressed my thoughts to some of my crewmates, and even before, to a lot of the members that there's a potentiality that I could be in another crew too. And my sisters, they're all about it. They're so supportive. And the thing is because it's an all-style female crew, right? The only other breaker in the crew is my sister Momo. But she's not battling and traveling as much anymore. So really it's just me in Diamonds that's battling internationally right now. So they were so supportive, and especially my big sister in the crew, she's just like, you need this. This is going to be a crew that's going to build you and go to these events that we can't go with you. And so, and at the same time too, I've also vocalized it to some of the Supreme beings too, that, Diamonds, they're first for me. I will always rep them. I'm honored to be with Supreme if it happens, but I will always still represent them. And they were 100% down. They totally understood. And, for me, it's just, the main thing is just communication. And if events arise, just letting them know, hey, I'm going to do this event. Are you going to do this? Or, who's down to do this? Or just making sure there's no conflict, that both ends are in the know.
So communication is key.
Yeah. And at the same time, too, relationship. Being honest. And if you truly care about each member, that you want to be there for them. You want to be a shoulder and an ear for them. and just if you really love your crew, if you respect them, that you will do all that you can for them. So for me, it's love and communication are the main thing for me, and hands down, represent to the fullest.
Yeah, there you go.
Make noise, you know. So yeah.
I love that. I like the common theme that I'm sensing is that you love the idea of love and support, and how that important is that love and support is how a creative or a dancer is able to express themselves fully, because they feel that foundation, they feel that inspiration, they get that energy, they get that love. And that's really cool that that's what you want to do with your workshops. And so, a lot for the, new breakers out there, dancers, if people don't know about the breaking scene, how do you get jobs at the Nutcracker? Like, how do you able to support yourself as a dancer? Because a lot of people, they do want to pursue dance full time.
Yeah.
So how are you able to do that?
Oh my gosh, honestly, it's all like God alignment. And it is connections, to be honest. My good friend, and I think you know her, Rascal Randy.
Oh, I know Rascal Randy. She's dope.
Yo, she's nasty.
Yeah, she's dope.
I love her so much, and I'm very grateful for her. She's such a honest human being. And during that time when I was telling you about when I wasn't working anymore in Phoenix and I was planning this tour, me and Randy, we both had the same gig in the summertime in Colorado. And so I was kind of just, for me, it's also talking to the right people, honestly, and not just spilling your beans to random people. Yeah. For me, it's just you spill your dreams, you vent, whatever it is in you, and you want to talk to people, make sure you talk to the right person. Because if you talk to someone who's not the right person, they could screw you over. They could also, you have to be very mindful of that. But Randy, I trust her. She's my friend. And so I was just kind of like venting to her. I was like, yo, like I have these ideas, and at the same time too, but I'm like, I need more money. I need to work right now. And she was already with the Nutcracker. And so she told me that they're having auditions and they definitely need a breaker. And she's like, and especially since they don't have a B girl besides, like, of course, her, it would be nice to have another B girl. And I was like, ooh, cool. And for me, at first I was kind of like, damn, so I've never done an audition before. I've never been about that, the audition life. But basically I would have to fly myself out to LA and make this happen. And she's like, it's going to be worth it. Trust. Like, I'm not going to say, like, I don't want to be the person that's going to be like, you have it for sure. But she said, you do have a good chance. Wow. And so for me, I'm like, fudge.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? For me, it's like, I want to live with no regrets.
Yeah.
What if I don't want to have that? What if I could have done it but didn't do it? You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what? Literally that same weekend after talking, I booked my tickets to go to LA. And I think it was like 2 weekends after, it was the audition.
Nice.
Did the audition, and then I got it.
Dope.
And so, so that's basically how I got the Nutcracker gig. But for me, and I think this is what a lot of artists don't know how to do, is to hustle. As you heard, as I was explaining how I even put my tour together, that's not easy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of communication. That's a lot of my own administration work, you know what I mean? And even to set up, especially in Arizona, when I did my workshops, that was all me. So a lot of artists don't know how to hustle. They don't know the business aspect of it as well, too, to be professional, to be on time, to create your own resume, to even advertise, to market yourself. So all this stuff, I learned a lot of this at a young age, because when I was starting out, I had there was an all-female crew in Vancouver called Fly Antics, and I owe so much to them. And my sister, she was their MC, so she put me on into the crew. And one of the members, her name is Invertebrat. She became my main mentor. And so having these women who are way older than me, but were also in the business world, they taught me how to be professional. They taught me how to market myself. They, at 16, 15, I already had my own business card. You know what I mean? And I didn't know anything about it. All I knew is I need to have a business card and just get ready to, and so, and even for practices, they would get on my case about not being on time. Like, you need to be on time. You know what I mean? Why are you 20 minutes late, 15 minutes late? And I was like, I'm 16. I'm like, this is just practice. But that's the thing, though. I made a commitment to them. Yeah. We were talking on however we were talking. I'm going to be at practice at this time. So learning to honor your word. You know what I mean? And so, and being back at home too, working for different companies, show companies, and, being a freelance dance instructor too. you have to learn how to talk to people. You have to learn how to be professional. You have to learn to show up on time. And so I've had to learn this on my own, and of course with some people who I'm very grateful that were in my life to show me when I was young. But a lot of artists, they don't have that.
Yeah.
They don't have people that are able to show them how they can do it. And so my biggest thing for these new artists now is get on it now. Get on it now. Learn how to market yourself.
Like Instagram,
social media, all of that stuff. You know, for me, I've learned how to make my own flyers because, you know, I don't have that much money. I can't afford to pay a designer. So I had to learn how to make my own flyers. And I have learned how to set my own rates. I've had to learn how to set a schedule, like a weekly schedule of what days to teach workshop at this studio, when to teach at this studio, or when I can coordinate, 'cause especially in Vancouver, I was doing it full-time dancer. So I had to coordinate, organize my rehearsals with this company and then with this other company, you know? So being organized is so key. Having an agenda, because you can't keep track. For me, my memory is not the greatest. I need to write down and schedule everything, all my practices, all my training, all my shows, all my workshops, all my own classes. It's just, you have to be on point with that.
Love it.
So,
so you're saying like just be organized, know how to market yourself.
Yes.
Network,
communication.
find a mentor.
Yes.
And just have them hustle mindset.
Yeah.
I like that because I think that it all comes back to your community and your crew, showing people love, showing people respect. That's what your mentor did, helped you out, and now you're giving back to your mentors. Your community, the one that you've created, because of the love you've shown, they've been able to give you gigs, fly you out, take care of your accommodations, tell you about the Nutcracker, get you auditions. So it really is about your network, is your net worth. To be able to show love at events, because that person you show love with, they can go out and be this awesome dancer in the cypher, but the next thing you know it, they might even have an opportunity for you.
Yeah.
But you want to give without expecting.
Exactly.
And I think that's awesome. That's a whole through line with your career and how what's made you successful is expressing love, building a community, having a mentor, having that hustle mindset, and just repping hard.
Yeah.
Because you got to be the best that you can be in order for you to have that quality to be hireable.
Definitely.
So, for the last thing, for a question, like if you can give advice to yourself 10 years ago, right? And think about like the new B-girls out there. As a woman, as like, someone coming up in the game, or even just an artist in general, what advice would you give them? And yourself 10 years ago?
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll start off with overall an advice I would give. Overall, I would say know why you're doing what you're doing. The why is going to be your rock, is going to be your strength in the midst of the storm. For me, when I was younger, I was so hungry for this. And I said to you before, I wanted to be the best in the world. So that was, when I was younger, that was my why. But as years go by, my why started to change. My why started to become more not about me. Because at the end of the day, what we do, I feel like everyone here on this earth, this might sound cheesy, corn dog, but usually it's the truth. Everyone here on this earth has a reason to be here. Everyone's blessed with a gift or a talent.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, I feel like what we are blessed with, it's not for us. And so I started to understand this as the years started to go by, because the desire of my heart started to change. As you've heard through my story, my desire was to see these women more empowered and strengthened, and just to build them. And at the end of the day, it was overall the whole community. So my heart was for the people. And I'm not saying that my mentality is right or anything. Everyone has their own reason to do what they do. And honestly, you do you. This was just my process, my journey. And I started to see the desires of my heart develop in a new way. And that became my strength, my stronghold of my life. And everything started to line. My decisions was for this. And so what I would strongly recommend anyone is just make sure you know why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you're trying to do what you're doing just to impress someone else, you're not going to last long. And understand who you are as a person. Having knowledge of self is so key. A lot of times, I do this every day. I have a moment where I just meditate. And it's just not like a meditate, like, and all that stuff. It's just being in a moment of stillness. being a moment of stillness to just refreshing my mind, refreshing my thoughts, remind myself who I am, remind myself what my goals are, remind myself of what my purpose is. Because if you refresh your mind and your thoughts every single day of how, what you're about, you're going to tackle the day so much better, so much stronger. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're not stepping into day with confusion.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or with a cluttered mind, where a lot of people, their minds are very cluttered. There's no, they didn't take that moment of silence just to organize their thoughts. And if you don't organize your thoughts, you're like this. And so on top of that, every single day, there's all these different stresses, you know what I mean? So if your mind is cluttered, you're dealing with BS from different people. It's like, it's an internal explosion, you know what I mean? And that just manifests in another way. So that too, having time for yourself, making sure that you realign yourself and also speak words of affirmation, speak words into manifestation, what you're meant to do, what you're supposed to do. Because, I was talking with Fan on this, like he was explaining to me his journey to come here. And he was telling his boys, he's like, I'm going to go to LA. I'm moving to LA. I'm going to do it. Speaking that out, he manifested that. So making sure that you're speaking the right words over your life, because it's going to happen. Whatever you speak out, it starts to get ingrained in your head, and every single part of your heart and your mind and your body wants to do it.
Yeah.
So that would be the main thing I would say.
That was real shit right there. That was amazing. That was great.
Thank you.
No, that I've interviewed a lot of people, and I've also listened to a lot of mentors and just a lot of successful entrepreneurs, and it's always back to the why. It's always back to your why. That's the only thing that's going to drive you to get out of bed. A lot of creatives ask me, how do you stay so disciplined? How do you get up at 5 a.m.? How do you do that? I'm like, I know my why.
Exactly.
I get out of bed because then if I'm saying I'm going to snooze, then I know what my why is, and that's to make sure my parents live an abundant life because they sacrificed for me. Then I get out of bed and I work out, and then I do my work. And that why is so strong. That's what's going to keep you disciplined. That's what's going to keep you on your goals and to make sure that you achieve what you want to achieve. Straight up. That's the only reason why you get out of bed is your why.
Exactly.
You got to make it strong enough.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
That
was
so
a good
much.
interview, and I want you to actually tell the peoples where to find you, how to support you.
Thank you. So you can find me on Instagram at everydayjk47. I'm also on Facebook as J-Kay Mendizona. So you can find me there. On YouTube, I'm also everydayjk47.
Sweet. And y'all, if you want to see her get down, I'm probably going to have a card right up there to check it out. She's going to have this amazing dance video just so you can see her style. But if anything, go check her out. JK is really going to be out there helping women and B-girls and artists in the community in general connect and just be more close and just more loving and expressive. So thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Appreciate
acknowledge
you
being awesome.
Thank you so much.
So thanks for watching, y'all, and we'll see you next time.
So pretty beings, diamonds in the rough. Ari Farrell.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Haven podcast. And if you dig it and like what you heard today, please give us a nice review and rating and share it with one of your friends that you think needs some creative inspiration. You can always find more content and resources at thecreativehaven.com, and hit me up on Instagram at Mitchel Dumlao. And if you want to reach out, collab, or ask any questions, you have my permission to slide into my DMs. So keep positive, continue to learn and hone your craft, and create all day. Salamat.